YouTube has hundreds of thousands of motivational videos, every single one of them promising the next big thing you need to finally change your life. They all have millions of views, but oftentimes when these people try to genuinely do something with their life, they fail miserably. Instead of working, they try to find the next hit and the next hit of motivation until the end of the year finally arrives and they inevitably realize, where the hell is all my progress? If you want to finally get ahead in 2025, you're gonna have to learn how to work without motivation. I have struggled with a lack of motivation and discipline basically my entire life, and an excess of procrastination. And I didn't know if it was a condition I had or if I was just bad. Bars, bro. Okay, anyway, I sought out a solution and I found one that actually helps. Proof that it works? Well, I have this big pimple on my nose, a clogged nose, and I pulled my first basically all-nighter last night. I'm still getting the work, recording this video, done. Before we get to what actually works, there's this one little mindset that I want to drill into your fucking skull, okay? The mindset is that tomorrow's fruit comes from today's work, not tomorrow's work. The reason you get demotivated after just 1 hour of work is because you don't feel like you're getting any results from the work you're putting in. As these results will only come later, this phenomenon can be illustrated with this graph shown on screen. When you're doing the work, you vividly remember how painful and how boring it is. But the effect from that work, the benefit, the lifestyle will only come later. The cure to this is pretty simple and can be incorporated into the real sauce that I'll tell you later. It's to reward yourself along the way. Whether that's a tick on a habit tracker, a small little treat, or the best one that actually works, a friend. Just find a friend or even a Discord friend that mutually agrees with you on this. So you'll send each other a message after you finish an assignment, for example, and your friend will send you like, good job, or I'm gonna suck your... Just do a little bit every day and positively reinforce every time that you do make progress, every time that you do get started on that big work task. Okay, the real sauce. Before we start on any task, assignment, or personal project, really ask yourself, why am I doing this? So for me, making YouTube videos, right? That's because I want to help people around the globe and retire my mom. Alright, that's great, that's pretty fire. But here's the interesting part now. Now you have to imagine the reverse of that. And with my previous why, I was really selfless, right? But for this anti-why, you want to be as selfish and self-centered as possible. So basically, if I don't reach this goal or I don't get this work done, what would happen to me? All this effort I put into YouTube would be for practically nothing. All the hobbies I sacrificed, like basketball, would be for nothing too. And I would be stuck working a 9-to-5 job I hate. Preferably go much deeper than that, but that's something you can start with. You get my point here. Write all this either on paper or in the notes app on your phone, okay? In a different note or piece of paper, write down the obstacles that you'll most likely face when starting this task. Don't cope. Impulsively scrolling on like YouTube shorts and impulsively going on video games are counted. Include everything that you know is holding you back right now. Whether that's as detrimental as your poor sleep schedule or as innocent as just eating a tiny little bit of chocolate, write it down. Now we have your why and your anti-why in one long-ass note and your obstacles. Keep this former note safe, and for the latter one, you now have a list of everything you need to work on. Bueno. But wait, there's a huge mistake that people make with this list here. Don't try to go for perfection where you fix everything in one day, because perfection doesn't exist. Focus on one of them, and then for a week, make sure you nail it, absolutely nail it to the ground before moving on to the next one. You'll fix your first habit in like 2 days, and you'll get tempted to move on, but don't. We need to 100% make sure that sleeping early is as something as non-negotiable to you as brushing your teeth in the morning. Next, get a third note or paper. This one's for the task we're actually going to do. What you want is to repeat the why, anti-why, and obstacles for this specific assignment, but obviously less in depth and more tailored for this work task. What you'll find is that a lot of it relates back to your main one. Even if the task is submit an essay, for example, the why is that you want a better grade, for a better job, for money, and the anti-why is because if you have no money, your life will be worse, obviously. An obstacle is your lack of energy from your poor sleep schedule. This next step is the most important one. I've mentioned this in previous videos, but the reason you procrastinate is because the work is scary, so you put it off. What we're going to do to help combat this is to make a rough summary of everything you're going to have to do in the work task to bring it down to the ground and make it less scary. Writing an essay sounds pretty scary, right? But opening your computer first, drinking some water, and then typing what's on your mind sounds a lot less scary. Go way more in depth than that, of course. The crazy thing is that this works for months-long tasks, like learning a language too. You just need to adjust the details and the depth of said details a bit. The end goal is always being able to make the next simple step, even if you're unmotivated, even if you're sick, even if there's like a pimple on your nose or some shit, I don't know. You always want to be able to take the next step and the next step. If you could just start the task straight away, that's great. But if you can't, and that's why you're here, this system will really help you. So go try it tonight before you go to bed. Make those 3 notes that I said for you to make. And you can work without motivation, but make any of the mistakes I mentioned here and you'll regret it. So go watch it. It's only 1 minute, alright? And I hope you'll join me on this journey of chill self-improvement.